Hello, my name is Johnny, and I will tell you a story about a disastrous fire that destroyed our home and forced me to change my outlook on life. When I was 13, my family and I lived in a small but beautiful house. We had good relationships and loved each other, and also, we loved our things. It may sound weird to use the word love when it's about things, but I don't know how else to describe it. For example, my books, my gaming console and my games for it, clothing and old toys. All of these mattered to me. One look at my things could fill me with memories of a particular time. Those things helped me cope with problems and to escape. One day, when I returned from school, something terrible had happened. Our house was burning. And firefighters tried to help, but it was too late. There was nothing to save anymore. Firefighters said it wasn't our fault. It had something to do with faulty wiring, and we couldn't prevent it. It's weird, but it's hard to process something like this. You don't immediately start to think about it like it's a real thing with consequences. You need time to understand it. My family and I didn't have much time to be sad. We had to find a new temporary place to live, talk to different people, and sign documents. And only then, when we were alone in our small, temporary apartment on the outskirts of town, everything started to sink in. We lost so much. I would never see my old toys or childhood drawings. All my favorite books and games were destroyed. It's not like I had a lot of things, but they were important. And my parents didn't feel much better. Their days consisted of endless planning, like what to do next and how to get back to a normal life. Maybe sell our family car, start using the bus, try to get more money for a new house. Everything I used for my hobbies had been destroyed. It was a strange mix of fear, boredom, and sadness. And then, my parents started fighting. Now, I understand that they were nervous and tired, but all the time, I just wanted to run away from it all. I didn't want to hear it. But you can't help it when you only have one room. Eventually, I grew tired of just boiling in this soup of anger and despair. So I went outside to do something. I couldn't see my friends because it was too far away for them and me. So I had to improvise. I climbed some trees, went to a river, drew a map of everything around. For a few hours, I completely forgot about the misfortunes my family and I had to endure, and had fun the same way I did when I was a little boy. And the place itself was beautiful. I didn't notice it the first few weeks I arrived there. Eventually, I got to know the other kids in the area, and funnily enough, they thought I was very cool after telling my story. But I still felt sorry for my parents who had to go to work and buy me food and solve other problems. I asked if I could start working myself and help a bit. But honestly, how much can a 13-year-old boy earn? I felt useless, and I didn't like it. I wanted to do something. Before, I had my world of games and books, and I never let anyone in it. This place was my new escape from problems. But maybe my parents also needed something like this. Sure, it won't magically solve all our problems, but perhaps if they saw how beautiful this place was, and had just one happy day, it would make it better for them. So one day, I gave my parents a map I had made earlier, and proposed to go on a tour of this place. Dad was very reluctant, but Mom liked the idea a bit more, so eventually they agreed. As we went through the streets, I saw smiles on their faces for the first time in a long time. Dad even tried to climb a tree with me, but he wasn't very successful. After this, we slowly started to rebuild our family. They saw how beautiful this place was and decided to try to buy a house in the area. They told me I could help by getting good grades. Typical parents. 3 years had passed since, and we finally have a new place and new things to love. But I guess we don't rely on them so much now. From all of this, I understand that while things are important, it's more important to be a strong and interesting person no matter what. My dad later said, "You know, I'm glad it happened to us because it made us so much stronger." And I agree. I'm glad you listened to my story. Please share your own stories of overcoming difficulties in the comments, and subscribe so you won't miss the next one.